El Capitano Bruno Fernandes is under trouble as fans are calling for his head. Some of them are actually demanding that Bruno should be sold in the summer. Are you a part of those? My name is Webb. I'll give you my 2 cents on that. As you do, go on here, subscribe if you haven't, because it's Man United talk and it's always hot talk. Now, let's get proper into it. Following that incident, if you watched the game against Fulham, where we were trailing, we were looking for a goal, and Bruno is falling down and feigning injury. Yet, when the referee did not, make the call, he comes up quickly and runs, and everyone is saying, "How does the captain do such?" We are in a tight situation. We want a goal. We are desperate for a goal, and it's the captain trying to waste our own time. What is this he's doing? So people were not happy. They booed him actually. He spent a lot of time talking to the referee Michael Oliver, trying, I don't know, to say what, and maybe trying to put in a case that perhaps he misofficiated the game and stuff. But the reality is that loss cannot be blamed on the man at the center. I think United did not do enough. Fulham deserved their win. They dominated, they beat us, and we should take the L. We should take it. Now, Bruno did not sit well. What he did not sit well with the fans of United, as fans are still on his case, calling him out. Which kind of captain keeps mourning like this? And honestly, if you do recall back then, not many of us, including me, were happy about Bruno being named captain when Harry Maguire was understandably stripped of the captaincy. Because even now, many will tell you that Harry Maguire looks a better leader than even Bruno. But the fact is, Bruno, he has never had the captain's character for me, even if he has always been a hard worker. When everyone was not performing, it was perhaps obvious because he was the only hard-working regular starter in the team. Maybe that is what guided Eric Ten Hag's choice of the captain. But in terms of character and personality on the pitch, there are reservations about Bruno. Now, people are saying, should Bruno be sold? Now, honestly, for me, I think Bruno Fernandes is not immune to the sale because of the captain's armband. And not that he's a bad player, he should be one of our best players. But how long have we said it? For how many times have we felt like he has not given us enough to the best of his abilities? And the reasons can be there, whether it's the way he's played by the manager or whatever excuse we can have. But the reality is not happening. And you see, this is not the time for excuses. Like Antonio Valencia said, this is not the time for excuses. Gary Neville at some point was saying that Bruno would start in any or would play in any of the past English squads. But right now, because definitely cannot say that because he has dropped badly. And usually when players drop in performances like this, they never come back up. So should Bruno be sold? For me, I think if there's someone giving us 50, 60 million pounds, I think so. He can go, he can be sold, sell Marcus Rashford for 80 to 70, 90, 100 million pounds, sell Casemiro for about 50 because apparently Saudi Arabia would be willing to pay that money. That would be enough money for us to buy younger, hungrier, better organized players who can fit into our system. Remember, Sajim is changing things around, and the players like Bruno will not get it easy going forward because he's introducing a salary cap, that's one, but also he's saying performance-based bonuses are going to be introduced at the club. So bonuses come based on your performances. Now, trust me, if we were going to give bonuses to players based on performances, how many of these players, including Bruno in the past games, would qualify for a bonus? So it shows you that all these players have not been doing it, especially all the senior players at United. With the exception of Lisandro Martinez, sadly he's always injured. He's lately becoming frequently injured. I think most of the other senior players have not been doing well. It's the young upcoming players who are putting in the yards because even Diogo Dallo is not a senior player; he's just upcoming. So for me, I don't think he's immune to the axe. I think he can go if he's not performing. We can get good money out of Bruno. And trust me, don't be surprised if in the summer it happened and Bruno was sold. Now, the issue though for me would be if Bruno is sold, who do we bring in? Now, reports are suggesting that Manchester United is looking at Ross Barkley, the Luton midfielder, who at some point between 2018 and 2022, when he was playing for Chelsea, Ross Barkley was looked at as one of the most talented young footballers. He was being compared to Jack Wilshere in terms of talent. But for some reason, it didn't happen. He leaves Chelsea, he don't even play so many games in the 4 years he was there. Goes to Aston Villa on loan. Then from there he goes to France OGC Nice, and then it's from there that he joined Luton. Now at Luton, Robert Edwards changes him. He was mostly a number 10 or an attacking midfielder, but he changes him into a holding midfielder. And apparently this is what has excited Ineos. Now, I do not want to believe this is true. If it's not madness, then it's not true. If it's true, it's madness, because there is no way you're telling me Ross Barkley is 30. You're going from Casemiro and you want to bring in Ross Barkley. What solution is that? Is that a solution to the problem? Because in the summer, we cannot afford to spend a single penny on a player who is not solving a problem. Now, we need to spend on players who are clearly coming in to solve one of, if not most of the so many problems we have, especially on the pitch in terms of positions. Now, I know that Ineos are said to be looking at a striker backup for Rasmus Højlund, understandably, because you saw what happened when Højlund is out, and he's going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. Then obviously you saw how we struggled without him. So we need a backup striker. Then they talk of a centre back on the right hand side. Of course, on the left there is Sandro Martinez, but they need a right-handed centre back, a right-footed centre back, and of course Todibo was one of the favourites we've been linked with for the longest time. But we also know that we need someone to replace Casemiro, because Casemiro should not be in the long-term plans of Man United. So if we get money, and Saudi's offer apparently is still there, that will be close to 50 million pounds, then that money is enough for us to get an able player to come in and partner with Kobe Maino in that midfield. Now, if Bruno goes, there's still money, because if we sell Bruno, we will get money. There will be still good money to be able to get a proper number 10. So for me, I think if there are three players I believe who can fetch us money in the summer, it's Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, and Casemiro. Two of those are obvious, but people can debate about Bruno, and I'll put it to you: should Bruno Fernandes be sold in the summer? If we got a good offer, and how much to you would be a good offer? For me, even 50 million pounds is okay. If we got 50 million pounds for Bruno Fernandes, I think it will be okay. That will be good business. It will be good business for me. Sell him and sign younger, hungrier players and create new leaders. The way Mikel Arteta did, and when he sold all these so-called senior players and trusted a young 22 or 23-year-old Martin Odegaard to lead this team, because he already showed the character. He's being mentored and growing with the squad. Do the same thing. Go back to the drawing board and grow a squad with new leaders, new role models. Trust you me, in a few years, by the third year, we should be able to compete with all the so-called big teams. That's the obvious way to deal with it. So I'm not for this whole Ross Barkley, and there could be, maybe because of so many players, about 11 who are going to leave because of the overhaul. I think many of those are English players, because you look at players like Harry Maguire, you look at players like Jadon Sancho, of course Mason Greenwood. There are debates whether he will stay or not. Marcus Rashford. Most of the players who have got issues, who we feel should be leaving, are English. And according to the Premier League rules, there should be a certain number of British players in your squad. So maybe that's why when they look around for these replacements, there is talk of the Ross Barkleys, because these are English players, to fill those numbers. But I feel we've got enough players in the academy to promote English players who can be promoted into the senior team and fill those gaps that will be left by these English players. So for me, I am not for the whole English player prioritizing and all. If you're English, you must be good enough. But we should focus on the right players to come in and lead the renaissance of Manchester United. Bruno out, for me. If the money is there, 50 million or so, sell him. Ross Barkley, no. Sin bin. Blue card to Ross Barkley, not to Man United. We cannot be rebuilding, but bringing rejects. What are we doing then? What solution is that from Sir Jim? That's not a solution. My name is Webb. This is the United Hotspot. Give me your opinion. Should Manchester United sell Bruno Fernandes? Should we go for Ross Barkley in the summer? Let me know. Subscribe. I'll catch you later.